Okay, so sserafim just came back with boompala, and somehow the internet has already turned this into another eunchae discourse situation. Because the second clips from the performances started going viral, people immediately started arguing about her vocals again. And honestly, this whole situation has become way bigger than just one encore stage. Like, at this point, every sserafim comeback somehow turns into who's improving, who still can't sing, why is Hybe doing this? And then suddenly, eunchae is trending for the next 48 hours. And the thing is, people are really divided this time. Because some fans think the criticism is getting genuinely excessive now, while other people are saying, if she keeps getting criticized every comeback, maybe there's an actual issue. So let's talk about why everyone is suddenly dragging eunchae again. Because this entire thing has honestly become one of the most repeated conversations in 4th gen K-pop. So after boompala dropped, clips from live stages started spreading all over TikTok, Twitter, and Korean forums almost immediately. And the main thing people kept focusing on was eunchae's live vocals, especially during certain parts where fans felt like her voice sounded unstable, too quiet, or like she was struggling compared to the other members. Then, obviously, once one clip goes viral in K-pop spaces, the entire internet suddenly becomes a vocal coach. And within hours, there were already posts with thousands of likes saying things like, Hybe idols can't sing live. Why does eunchae never improve? She debuted too early. And even people calling her the weak link of the group, which got harsh very quickly. Because yes, criticism about performances is normal in K-pop. That literally comes with being an idol. But some of these comments were genuinely turning into full hate trains again. And if you've been following sserafim for a while, you already know this isn't the first time. Every time the group has a comeback, the same conversation comes back, especially after the encore controversies from last year. And honestly, I think that's why this backlash feels bigger than it normally would, because people already had this narrative in their heads before boompala even released. Like, the second a slightly shaky clip appears, people immediately go, see, I told you. And suddenly, the clip gets reposted everywhere without context. Because let's be real, K-pop stan culture loves having one designated member to blame for everything. And right now, eunchae unfortunately became that member for a lot of people online, especially because she debuted really young. And I honestly think people forget that sometimes. Because when idols debut young, audiences expect them to magically improve overnight, while also handling constant performances, filming, variety shows, hate comments, touring, and being analyzed frame by millions of people, which is actually insane when you think about it. And another reason this discourse exploded again is because sserafim as a group are constantly under pressure to prove themselves vocally, especially after all the conversations around live singing in 4th gen recently. So now every performance becomes this huge internet investigation where people are literally comparing breathing stability and microphone volume like it's a science experiment. And honestly, some of the clips going viral are also kind of misleading, because fans started pointing out that certain videos being reposted were edited weirdly, zoomed in, or taken from bad audio angles. And that always happens during K-pop controversies. People repost the worst possible clip until it becomes the official narrative. Meanwhile, there were also clips from the same performances where eunchae actually sounded completely fine, but those obviously don't go as viral because negativity spreads faster. And then you also had fans defending her, saying she's improved a lot compared to debut, people only target her because she's the easiest member to drag, and honestly, I do think there's truth to that. Because once stan Twitter decides someone is bad at something, they literally analyze every single performance looking for proof. Like, people already made up their minds before even watching the full stage. And I think another reason this situation keeps happening is because sserafim's concept itself puts members under a microscope. Their performances are very performance-heavy. Tons of movement, tons of difficult choreography, high-energy songs. So stable live vocals become harder automatically. But K-pop fans nowadays expect idols to dance perfectly, sing perfectly, look perfect, have perfect expressions, and somehow never sound out of breath while doing all of it live, which realistically is difficult for literally anybody. That doesn't mean criticism isn't allowed, obviously, because some people are saying if idols debut professionally, they should be able to handle live performances. And honestly, that's a fair opinion too. That's why this discourse gets messy, because both sides think they're being reasonable. One side thinks people are bullying a young idol over every tiny mistake, while the other side thinks fans baby idols too much and refuse valid criticism. And then the argument just repeats every comeback cycle. But I think the bigger issue now is that this entire conversation is starting to overshadow Le Sserafim's actual music. Because instead of talking about boompala itself, everyone's arguing over encores, vocals, stage clips, line distribution, and whether Hype trains idols properly, which is probably the last thing the company wanted after this comeback. And honestly, I don't even think eunchae is the only reason people keep revisiting this topic. I think she became the face of a much bigger argument happening in K-pop right now. The pressure on fourth-gen idols to prove live talent constantly, especially because fans are getting way more critical recently. Like, every encore now turns into a survival challenge. And once an idol gets labeled weak vocally, it becomes incredibly hard for them to escape that reputation online, even if they improve later. Because stan culture loves recycling old narratives. And unfortunately, I think that's exactly what's happening here. People aren't just reacting to boompala. They're reacting to every previous Le Sserafim vocal controversy at the same time, which makes the backlash feel way bigger. Personally, I think constructive criticism is completely fine. K-pop is literally performance-based entertainment. But there's definitely a difference between she needs more vocal training and making somebody the internet's punching bag every comeback. Because some of the comments genuinely stopped sounding like criticism and started sounding personal. And the weirdest part is that this discourse probably isn't ending anytime soon either. Because now people are already waiting for the next encore stage to either prove the criticism right or prove everyone wrong, which honestly feels exhausting for everybody involved. But yeah, that's basically why everyone is suddenly dragging eunchae again after boompala. And knowing K-pop fandoms, this entire debate is probably going to continue for the next few weeks, minimum. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think, because the internet is very divided on this one right now. Is the criticism fair? Or do you think people are turning eunchae into the scapegoat of every Le Sserafim controversy again?